we will see about deductions from gross total income. We will see deductions under section 80C, 80CCC, 80CCD, 80D, 80DD, 80DDB and 80E in this video. In order to find out the gross total income, we add the 5 heads of income: salary income, house property, business or profession, capital gains, and income from other sources. After making necessary adjustments relating to clubbing of income and set off and carry forwards, the income available is your gross total income or total income. From the gross total income, various deductions which are allowed under Income Tax Act 1961 are subtracted, which gives taxable income. Deductions allowed under the Income Tax Act help to reduce the taxable income, encourage savings, industrialization, and to assist taxpayers in meeting their essential expenditure. There are a number of deductions available under various sections from 80C to 80U that will bring down the taxable income. The most popular one is 80C of Chapter 6A, and it is important in examination point of view as well. Now let us see deduction under section 80C. Deduction under section 80C deals with specified investments. It's allowed to individual and Hindu undivided family. The assessee can claim the deduction under section 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD altogether to the extent of rupees 1,50,000. Deduction under 80CCC is contribution to pension fund, and deduction under section 80CCD is contribution to pension scheme notified by central government. Now let us see what are all the specified investments which are there for deduction under section 80C. Life insurance premium for policy, 10% of actual amount assured. Some paid under contract for a deferred annuity. Some deducted from salary payable to the government servant for securing deferred annuity or making provision for his wife, children. Amount limited to 20% of salary. Contribution by the individual made under Employees Provident Fund scheme. Contribution to Public Provident Fund account. Recognized Provident Fund. Approved Superannuation Fund. Notified Security or Notified Deposit Scheme of Central Government. Sukanya Samriddhi account scheme is notified one. Now notified savings certificates, NSC certificates 8 issue. Contribution for participation in unit linked insurance plan of UTI. Contribution to notified unit linked insurance plan of LIC mutual fund. Subscription to notified deposit scheme or notified pension fund set up by National Housing Bank. Tuition fees for full-time education of 2 children who are the fees will be for any university, college or school or any educational institution situated in India. Certain payments for purchase, construction or residential house property. Subscription to notified schemes. Public sector companies engaged in providing long-term finance for purchase or construction of houses in India for residential purposes. Authority constituted under any law for satisfying need for housing accommodation or for planning development or improvement of cities, towns and villages or for both. Sum paid towards notified annuity plan of LIC or other insurer. Subscription to any units of any notified mutual fund or UTI, equity linked savings scheme. Contribution by the individual to any pension fund set up by any mutual fund which is referred to in section 10, or by UTI, subscription to equity shares or debentures, subscription to any units of any approved mutual fund, term deposits for a fixed period of not less than 5 years with a scheduled bank, subscription to notified bonds issued by the NABARD, deposit in an account under the Senior Citizen Savings Scheme rules, 5-year term deposit in an account under post office time deposit, contribution to Tier 2 NPS account by central government employees. All these are the various schemes or investments which are available under section 80C for deduction purpose in all the above specified qualifying investments. Deposits or contributions made by the assessee up to 1,50,000 is deductible. The net qualifying amount for deduction will be either 1,50,000 or the amount invested in the specified investments, whichever is less. For an example, if the investment amount is rupees 80,000, the net qualifying amount will be 1,50,000 or the investment amount, that is 80,000. In this, whichever is less, 80,000 is less, so it's 80,000. Suppose if the investment amount is 1,60,000, here the net qualifying amount will be 1,60,000 or 1,50,000, whichever is less, that is 1,50,000 is less. So this is the net qualifying amount for deductions. Now let us see one problem based on this. Mr. Vijay furnishes the following information for the assessment year 2019-20. Compute the amount of deductible under 80C by the assessee for the assessment year 2019-20. Payment of life insurance premium on his own life is 16,000. Policy value is given, that is 1,40,000. Payment of life insurance premium on the life of his wife is 10,000. The policy value is rupees 10 lakhs. Own contribution to unrecognized provident fund is 24,000. Contribution to public provident fund is 20,000. Interest on national savings certificate 8 is 8,000. Repayment of housing loan including interest rupees 34,000 is 80,000. They've asked us to find out the amount which is deductible under 80C for the assessment year 2019-20. First, let us write the heading: computation of qualifying investment for the purpose of 80C deduction for the assessment year 2019-20. Here the first one which is given for the deduction is payment of life insurance premium on own life. Already we have seen in the deductions specified investments. Already I read out all these. Life insurance premium of our policy is 10% of actual amount assured. So 10% of actual amount assured can be claimed as deduction under 80C. So here life insurance premium on own life is 16,000. First we'll find out how much is the percentage of the life insurance for 1,40,000. So here just see the working note which is given, percentage of premium on own policy. So 16,000 is the amount of payment made, that is a premium paid 16,000, divided by total policy value. The total policy value is 1,40,000 into 100, which gives you the percentage of premium on own policy. It comes around 11.43%. But the policy amount which qualifies is 10% of actual amount assured. So 10% of the policy amount, we will find it out. 16,000 divided by 11.43. 11.43 is the percentage of premium which he has made payment as a premium. Divided by 11.43 will give you 1% into 10%. 10% is the amount which is qualified for deduction. So 16,000 divided by 11.43 into 10%, which gives you 13,998. We'll round it off as rupees 14,000. So the amount of deduction which can be claimed on own policy is 14,000. This 14,000, you write it here. Payment of life insurance premium on own life is 14,000. Next one, payment of life insurance premium on the life of his wife. It's given as 10,000. The total policy value is 10 lakhs. So here again, if we divide 10 lakhs, 10,000 divided by 10 lakhs will give you 10%. So 10% is the amount which can be claimed as deduction. Since the life insurance premium paid on the life of wife is less than 10%, so she qualifies for deductions from the income. So here 10,000 can be claimed as deduction. So payment of life insurance premium on life of his wife is 10,000, which can be claimed as deduction. Third one, own contribution to unrecognized provident fund. Only public provident fund, we have seen public provident fund, recognized provident fund only can be claimed for deduction. So here unrecognized provident fund cannot be claimed under deduction, so it's nil. Next one is contribution to PPF. Contribution to PPF can be claimed under deduction, so 20,000. Again, interest on National Savings Certificate 8 issue, 8,000, that can also be claimed for deduction. And repayment of housing loan including interest, rupees 34,000. So here we can see how much 80,000 is a repayment amount. Interest along with interest 34,000 is given. So 80,000 minus 34,000, 46,000 can be claimed as deduction. Interest is 34,000. So 80,000 minus 34,000. That is the amount which you can claim for deduction. So the qualifying amount under ATC is, if you add up all these things, you get 98,000. This is the qualifying amount which can be claimed under ATC. Next is deduction under ATCCC, contribution to pension fund. It's allowed to individual contribution to certain specified pension funds of LIC, that is Jeevan Suraksha, other insurer, subject to certain conditions, up to 1,50,000. Can claim the deduction up to 1,50,000. Already we have discussed about ATC. Along with ATC, this ATCCC can be combined together. That is, the contribution of pension fund also is included in the investment of which is specified. Together you can claim a deduction to the extent of rupees 1,50,000. Next one is deduction under section 80CCD. contribution to pension scheme notified by central government, subject to certain deductions. Deduction under 80CCD are available to salary as well as self-employed individuals. While it is mandatory for government employees, for other individuals it is voluntary. Section 80CCD subsection 1 of the Act, which governs contributions made by an individual taxpayer, states that an assessee being an individual who has during the financial year paid or deposited any amount in his account under the pension scheme notified by the government is allowed to claim deduction from his income limited to 10% of his salary. So he can claim the deduction up to the limit of 10% of salary for salaried individuals or 20% of gross total income for self-employed individuals. So 10% for salaried individuals and 20% of gross total individuals. The maximum limit of deduction available under section 80CCD is rupees 2 lakhs. This includes the additional deduction of 50,000 available under subsection 1B over and above the deduction of 1.5 lakh available under section 80C of Income Tax Act 1961. So already we have seen 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD. So 1,50,000 is the amount which you can claim altogether in 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD. Here an addition of 50,000 for NPS is also available. Total it comes to around 2 lakhs. So total maximum amount of deduction under 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD is 2 lakh with the pension scheme notified by Central Government of India. Subscriber can partially withdraw from NPS Tier 1 account before the age of 60 for the specified purposes. Amount withdrawn up to 25% of subscriber contribution is exempt from tax. So 25% of subscriber contribution is exempt from tax. After the subscriber attains the age of 60, up to 40% of total corpus withdrawn in lump sum is exempt from tax. So during the time of retirement, 40% of total corpus can be withdrawn, that is exempt from tax. Altogether with the three sections we can see 80C, 80CCC and 80CCD. You can claim to the extent of 1,50,000 as deductions. A maximum of 2 lakhs, that is additional amount of 50,000 is available under contribution of pension scheme NPS under 80CCD. And again in case of 80CCD, can see that the amount withdrawn, you can withdraw the amount before the age of 60 and for that amount 25% of contribution is exempt from tax. Moreover, 40% of total corpus, if it is withdrawn in lump sum, if the subscriber attains the age of 60 is also exempt from tax. Problem number 2. Mr. Arjun is a central government employee in the Ministry of Defence. Date of joining is 15 January 2012. During the previous year 2018-19, his basic salary is of Rs 24,000 per month. Dearness allowance forming part of the salary is Rs 4,000 per month. He contributes 10% of his salary towards notified pension scheme. A matching contribution is made by the central government. Compute the taxable income of Mr. Arjun. Arjun has contributed another 70,000 towards notified pension scheme. compute the taxable income for the assessment year 2019-2020. So here in the problem, you can see that Mr. Arjun is a central government employee and he draws the salary of rupees 24,000 per month and gets 4,000 per month as dearness allowance, which forms part of the salary. He also contributes 10,000 towards notified pension scheme, and the government also contributes a matching contribution. He also has another investment contribution of rupees 70,000 towards notified pension scheme. So he has two pension schemes. And in the question, it's asked that to compute the taxable income for the assessment year 2019-2020. So we'll start working out the problem. First, write down the topic or heading: contribution of taxable income of Mr. Arjun for the assessment year 2019-20. Basic salary is given 24,000 per month. We are calculating for the year, so 24,000 into 12, that is 2,88,000. Next, dearness allowance, which is forming part of the salary, is 4,000 per month. So 4,000 into 12, 48,000. Next, your salary also includes the government's contribution. So contribution towards the notified pension scheme, 10% is contributed from the salary. So salary here includes basic salary plus dearness allowance forming part of the salary. So DP, basic salary plus dearness pay is 2,88,000 plus 48,000. 2,88,000 plus 48,000, that is 3,36,000. 10% of this 3,36,000 is 33,600. So his total salary or gross salary, you can say, is 3,69,600. For the salary, he can claim a standard deduction under section 16, subsection 1 of rupees 40,000. This we have already seen in salary chapter. So standard deduction for the salary you can claim from the gross salary is 40,000. So if you deduct from the gross salary, you get 3,29,600. Now let us come to the deduction part. The deductions, you can see that he has contributed 10% of salary towards notified pension scheme. So notified pension scheme is section CCD. So section CCD, 10% of the salary, already we have calculated 10% of salary. Salary means basic plus dearness allowance, which forms part of the salary. So 10% of 3,36,000 is 33,600, which we have written. Then he made an additional contribution also towards pension fund of rupees 70,000. So 70,000 is the additional contribution which is made by him. Here we have to find out 70,000 is additional contribution or 50,000. In case if there is a contribution made for under section 80 CCD, either it is 70,000 or 50,000, whichever is less. So here 50,000 is the lesser amount for additional contribution. So we take this 50,000. So total amount of deductions he can claim is 83,600. Altogether he can claim to the extent of 1,50,000, but here it's less than 1,50,000. So he can claim to the extent of 83,600. So if we deduct from the salary 3,29,600, if we deduct the deductions of 83,600, we get 2,46,000. Next is section 80D. It's related to medical insurance premium. From assessment year 2013-14, the age for a person to be considered as a senior citizen is 60 years. So here senior citizen from 2013-14, the age for that is considered as 60 years. It is available, this Mediclaim insurance premium is available for two individuals and Hindu undivided family. For individual means it's assessee, wife or husband, that is spouse, and children. For Hindu undivided family, any member of the family is considered. It is allowed for any medical expenses or mediclaim of the family. It's considered an approved scheme of General Insurance Corporation of India or of any other insurance company. So let us see how much is the amount which is allowed as deduction for under mediclaim for different assessees. In case if it is taken if the mediclaim insurance premium is taken by the assessee as an investment, he can claim to the deduction to the extent of rupees 25,000. Maximum deduction allowed is 25,000 for himself, spouse and children. In case if he has insured his parents as well, he can include the deductions of 25,000 additionally. So the total amount of the deductions which he can claim is 25,000 plus 25,000. 25,000 for himself, spouse and children, and 25,000 for the parents. So totally it is 50,000 as the deduction which is allowed. In case if his parents are senior citizens, in that case rather than 25,000 the amount is increased to 50,000. So for himself, spouse and children it is 25,000, and for his parents who are senior citizen the amount is 50,000. So total amount of deductions which he can claim is 75,000. Suppose the assessee is himself or herself a senior citizen, and for the spouse and children again they are also insured along with the parents who are senior citizen. In that case he can claim to the extent of 50,000 for himself and his family, that is self, spouse and children, and for the parents he can claim to the extent of 50,000 who are senior citizens. So totally he can claim to the extent of 1 lakh. He cannot claim more than 1 lakh under this medical insurance premium. To say it briefly, in case if the assessee has insured under mediclaim insurance, he can claim the deduction under 80D. For himself, spouse and children he can take to the extent of 25,000. In case if he has insured his parents as well, self, spouse and children plus parents, he can make the deductions to the extent of 50,000. In case if his parents are senior citizen, he can claim the deduction to the extent of 75,000. If he himself is a senior citizen and his parents are also senior citizen, along with himself, spouse and children plus his senior citizen parents, he can claim to the extent of 1 lakh. The maximum limit of the mediclaim insurance premium cannot exceed 1 lakh. We will see one problem based on this. Problem number 3. Calculate the deduction allowable under section 80D as an assessee having the following incomes for the assessment year 2019-20. Age of the person is also given here as 32 years. Business income is 83,000 and interest on debentures is 49,000. Payment of medical insurance premium on his own life is given as rupees 3,000. So now let us compute the deduction which is allowable under section 80D as it is asked in the question. So write the topic computation of deduction allowable under section 80D. After writing the heading, we have what are all the incomes which he has got. So business income is 83,000, and from interest on debentures is a income from other sources. So you write it as income from other sources. Under that you write interest on debentures, which is 49,000. So this forms the total income of the person of the assessee. So it comes to around 1,32,000. The gross total income is 1,32,000. He has paid an insurance, medical insurance premium on his own life 3,000. So here this comes under section 80D, which we have seen now. So deduction under 80D is, for the insurance he has paid rupees 3,000. So 3,000 is the amount which is paid. So 3,000 or 25,000, whichever is less, can be claimed as deduction. So 3,000 is the amount which you can claim as deduction. So here 1,32,000 minus 3,000 is 1,29,000. Here you are not specified whether it is paid in cash or check. Already in the question we have seen, this can be made, payment of premium should be made only by check. If the payment is made in cash, such payment will not be deductible under section 80D. So this is one of the provisions. So payment should be made only in check and not in cash. So we have to assume, here we have assumed that the payment is made by check. So we are deducting 3,000. Actual amount or 25,000, whichever is less. Here actual amount is 3,000 or 25,000. So 3,000 is less, so we are deducting 3,000. Next problem. Problem number 4. Mr. Anthony got medical insurance for all of his family members and paid premium in the previous year 2018-19 as under. Medical insurance of self paid by check 12,000. Mediclaim of wife paid in cash 5,000. Medical insurance premium of 16-year-old son paid by check to a private insurance company approved by IRDA rupees 5,000. Mediclaim premium paid on the medical insurance of his father and mother rupees 10,000. Mediclaim premium on the policy of dependent younger brother rupees 4,000. Calculate amount of deduction under section 80D. So they have asked you to calculate the amount of deduction under 80D. So computation of deduction allowable under section 80D. We'll calculate. Write the heading. Then first one is medical insurance for self. So for medical insurance for self is paid through check. So you can take that into consideration. But in case of medical claim for wife, it is paid in cash, so it cannot be taken into consideration for claiming deduction. Medical insurance premium of 16-year-old son, it's also paid by check for rupees 5,000, so you can take that as well. So 5,000 is the mediclaim for son, as well as mediclaim for himself is 12,000. Together it comes to the total mediclaim policy of 17,000. Here 17,000 is the amount for himself alone. Can take for self, spouse and children alone, he can take to the extent of 25,000. In case of self, spouse and children plus parents are there, he can claim to the extent of 50,000. So here 17,000 or 25,000, whichever is less, is the amount which he can get the exemption. So here 17,000 is less, so we are taking 17,000 as deduction amount. Next one, there is one more thing for medical claim which he has paid the premium for his father and mother, which is 10,000. So for father and mother, his medical claim is rupees 10,000. 10,000 or 25,000. Here age is not mentioned of the father mother, so we will consider they are below 60 years of age. So only 25,000, which we are actual premium of 25,000 we are deducting. So 10,000 or 25,000, whichever is less. Here 10,000 is less, so you can claim the deductions for 10,000. So total amount of deductions. So totally the deductions can be claimed to the extent of 50,000 according to the provisions. 25,000 for self, spouse and son, and 25,000 for father and mother. Here you can see that the deduction allowable is 27,000. 17,000 for himself, spouse and son, as well as for father and mother it's 10,000. So totally it's 27,000, which can be claimed as deduction under section 80D. The next section is deduction under section 80DD. Medical treatment, etc. and deposit made for maintenance of handicapped dependents. This 80DD deals with medical treatment and deposit made for the maintenance of handicapped dependents. This deduction is available to individual and Hindu undivided family. Deduction is available for any expenditure incurred during the previous year for the medical treatment, including nursing, training and rehabilitation of one or more dependent persons with disability. Amount deposited under an approved scheme of LIC or other insurance company or UTI for the benefit of dependent person is also eligible for deduction. So here dependent person, it has to be deposited, amount has to be deposited either in LIC, UTI for the dependent person is also eligible for deduction. Deduction is allowed for rehabilitation of handicapped dependent relative. The dependent relative here means spouse, parents, kids or siblings. 40% disability is considered to be the disability, or 80% disability is considered to be the severe disability. Where 40% is where the disability is 40% or more but less than 80%, then fixed deduction allowed is 75,000. And where the disability is 80% or more than then the deduction claimed is rupees 1,25,000. So here we can see that in case if the disability is if it is just a disability that is with from 40% to 80%, he can claim an exemption to the extent of 75,000. The assessee can claim. The same time, if the disability is more than 80%, deduction can be claimed to the extent of 1,25,000. The amount of deduction depends on the percentage of disability. The deduction claimed is fixed irrespective of the actual expenses. So whatever may be the expenses incurred, the assessee can claim the amount of deduction either 75,000 for disability or 1.25 lakhs to the in case of severe disability. To understand it better, we'll see one more problem. Problem number 5. Find the amount deductible under section 80DD. Here 3 different situations are given. We'll see the one by one. We'll see the situations one by one and analyze it. Shekhar has spent rupees 15,000 on the training of his brother-in-law who is blind and dependent on Shekhar for support of maintenance. So here Shekhar is the brother-in-law who is blind and he is supported by Shekhar for maintenance. Brother-in-law is not a relative under the terms of deductions under 80DD because here the term relative here means spouse, parents, kids or siblings. He is a brother-in-law, so he cannot claim the deduction under the section 80DD. So let's see the solution. Brother-in-law is not a dependent of Shekhar as per the definition of dependent. You have seen the definition: dependent relative, spouse, parents, kids or siblings. Only these persons are eligible to claim the deduction. Accessory is eligible to claim for only these persons if they are dependent, not to any other person. So here brother-in-law is not a dependent of Shekhar as per the definition of dependent, and Shekhar is not entitled to deduction under section 80DD. Next one is Shekhar has spent 35,000 during the previous year on medical treatment of his widow sister. Ramya, who is severely disabled, dependent of him for support and maintenance. So he has spent around 35,000 for the medical treatment of his widow sister. So sister here is a dependent. One more thing, she is suffering from severe disability. So in case of severe disability, she can thus see, being a person who takes care of the dependent, can claim to the extent of 1,25,000. Whatever may be the amount is 35,000, but he can claim to the extent of 1,25,000. So here deduction allowed under section 80DD for severe disability is 1,25,000. 80% and above is considered as severe disability. A fixed amount of rupees 1,25,000 is deductible under section 80DD irrespective of the expenses. Whatever may be the expenses incurred for the medical treatment, he can claim the deductions to the extent of 1,25,000. Next one, C. We'll see this. Shekhar has incurred rupees 10,000 for treatment of his sister with disability and deposited with LIC 20,000 for maintenance of the dependent sister. Here only disability is given, so it's not severe disability. In case of disability, 75,000 is deductible under section 80DD. Whatever, irrespective of the amount which he has expended on the sister. So the solution here, let us see the solution. A fixed amount of rupees 75,000 is deductible under section 80DD irrespective of actual expenses incurred for medical treatment of disabled sister and amount deposited for her maintenance. Next one is deduction under section 80DDB, where you can claim the deduction in respect of medical treatment for dependents. It is allowed to individual and Hindu undivided family. Deduction is allowed for the specified diseases like cancer, renal failure, etc. for himself or dependents in case of individuals or any family member in case of Hindu undivided family. If dependent is less than 60 years, actual amount or 40%, whichever is less, is allowed as deduction. If the amount is paid for the senior citizen of 60 years of age, then actual amount or 1 lakh, whichever is less, is allowed as deduction. So here in this section we can see that the person is suffering from any specified diseases like cancer or renal failure, as a dependent, the assessee can claim the deductions for such persons. If the dependent person suffering from the diseases is less than 60 years, the assessee can claim the deduction to the extent of either 40,000 or actual amount, whichever is less. If the amount is paid for the senior citizen of 60 years of age, then actual amount or 1 lakh, whichever is less, is allowed as deduction. We'll see one problem based on this. Problem number 6. During the previous year 2018-19, Ravi has incurred an expenditure of rupees 85,000 for medical treatment of his father who suffers from malignant cancer. Determine the amount of deduction allowable under section 80DDB. So here the father is suffering from malignant cancer and the Ravi has incurred the expenditure of rupees 85,000. Here the father's age is not mentioned. So in case if the age is not mentioned, we can claim to the extent of 40,000. See, in case of section 80 DDB, less than 60 years of age, either 40,000 or actual amount, whichever is less, can be claimed as deduction. So here write down the solution. Deduction under section 80 DDB, medical treatment of specified diseases, that is cancer. Actual amount which he has incurred for expenditure is 85,000 and maximum limit of amount is 40,000. Whichever is less is deductible. So 40,000 is less. So 40,000 is deductible amount under section 80 DDB. Problem number 7. Kannan, a resident of India, has incurred medical expenditure of rupees 51,000 during the previous year 2018-19 for his mother 64 years of age, resident of India, suffering from cancer. The full treatment cost has been reimbursed by New India Assurance Company. Is he entitled to any deduction under section 80 DDB? So Mr. Kannan's mother is suffering from cancer and her age is above 60 years. So for above 60 years, actual amount or 1 lakh can claim the deduction to the extent of either actual amount or 1 lakh, whichever is less can be claimed as deduction. So here actual expenditure incurred is 51,000. Maximum limit is 1 lakh, which is the provision which we have seen now. So maximum limit is 1 lakh and actual expenditure is 51,000. Whichever is less is deductible under section 80 DDB. So less amount is 51,000. Here one more thing is given. The full treatment cost has been reimbursed by New India Assurance Company. So the amount which is deductible is also taken care by the insurance company. So he cannot claim any deduction amount. Less received from New India Assurance Company is 51,000. So deductible amount is nil. Next problem. Problem number 8. Suresh, who has been suffering from chronic renal failure, has incurred an expenditure of rupees 45,000 for his medical treatment during the previous year 2018-19. He received rupees 6,000 from an insurance company and rupees 4,500 from his employer as reimbursement. Find the amount of deduction under section 80 DDB. So Mr. Suresh, is not specified the age and he has incurred an expenditure of rupees 45,000 for the disease of cancer. So actual expenses is 45,000 and maximum which he has incurred, maximum limit for less than 60 years of age is 40,000. So he can claim to the extent of either 40,000 or 45,000, whichever is less. So 40,000 is less. So that amount he can claim as deduction. Here again one more point is given. He received 6,000 from an insurance company and rupees 4,500 from his employer as reimbursement. So here he has received 6,000 from insurance company, and reimbursement from the employer is also there of 4,500. Together it comes to 10,500. So if we deduct this amount, we get the amount which is deductible under section 80 DDB, that is 29,500. 40,000 minus 10,500 is 29,500. Now let us see deduction under section 80E. Section 80E deals with repayment of loan taken for higher education. It is allowed to individual, allowed for himself, spouse, children, or any student for whom the individual is a legal guardian. It is allowable if the individual has taken any loan from any financial institution or any approved charitable institution for the purpose of pursuing higher education. The education could be any degree, course or postgraduate degree course in engineering, medicine, management, applied sciences or pure sciences including mathematics and statistics. Any amount paid by way of interest on such loan is deductible without any limit from the assessment year 2006-2007. So, in case of deduction under section 80E for repayment of loan, interest on loan is considered to be deductible under section 80E. The actual interest paid is deductible in the year in which the assessee starts paying the interest on loan and the subsequent 7 years or until the interest is paid fully. Now let us see one problem based on this. Problem number 9. Discuss the implications for the following transaction in the case Dr. Mr. Surya running a nursing home, repayment of loan taken from the bank for doing a postgraduate course in medicine. Installment rupees 50,000 and interest is rupees 10,000. As we have already seen that only the interest amount on loan is deductible in case of deduction under section 80E. So here 10,000 alone is deductible under section 80E. Since the payment of interest on education loan taken to pursue higher education of self, spouse or children is deductible under section 80E from the gross total income, Mr. Surya is eligible for deduction of rupees 10,000 since the payment of interest on higher education loan is deductible under section 80E. Next problem, problem number 10. Mr. Akash, a resident individual, submits the following details for the previous year 2018-19. Contribution towards pension fund of LIC 25,000. Medical expenditure on health of the father of 80 years 40,000. Medical treatment of dependent handicapped brother 10,000. Deposit with UTI for the maintenance of the dependent handicapped brother 40,000. The income under the head salary is rupees 2,50,000 per annum and professional tax paid is 900. Find out this taxable income for the assessment year 2019-20. So here you can see there is a combination of three deductions here. Let's see one by one. The first one is, we'll write the computation of taxable income of Mr. Akash for the assessment year 2019-20. First we will write the salary. Salary is 2,50,000. From the salaries, you have to deduct the standard deduction of rupees 40,000. And here one more professional tax is given. You have to deduct the professional tax as well. So total of deductions which is claimed under section A16 as well as professional taxes 40,000 plus 900, that is 40,900. So taxable salary income will be, gross total income will be 2,09,100. From this 2,09,100, we have to make the deductions under section 80. We have to make the adjustments. Here, let us see what are all the adjustments one by one. First one is contribution towards pension fund of LIC. Already we have seen that contribution towards pension fund comes under a section 80CCC, that is 80CCC, that is 25,000. In case of 80CCC, 80C and 80CCD together can claim the deduction to the extent of rupees 1,50,000. Here 25,000 is under section 80CCC. So 25,000 or 1,50,000, whichever is less, it can be claimed as deduction. So 25,000 is the amount that can be claimed for deduction. Next one is medical expenditure on health of his father, who is 80 years of age. In case of medical expenditure on the health of father, he has taken a mediclaim. In case of mediclaim, he can claim the exemption under section 80D. Under 80D, he can take to the extent of rupees 30,000 because his father is a senior citizen. His age is 80 years. So medical ailment, a medical claim for the father is 40,000 or 30,000, whichever is less. So he can claim to the extent of 30,000. Next one, deposit with medical treatment of dependent handicapped brother is 10,000 and maintenance of this dependent handicapped brother is 40,000. So here, irrespective of the amount under section 80DD, irrespective of the amount, whatever it is for the dependent relative, he can claim to the extent of 75,000 in case of disability or 1 lakh in case of severe disability. Here he can claim to the extent of 75,000 under section 80DD. If you add up all the deductions, 25,000, 30,000 and 75,000, you get 1,30,000. From the taxable salary income, that is gross total income of 2,09,100, if you deduct the amount of 1,30,000 of deductions, you get 79,100, which is the taxable income. To sum up all the sections together, under 80CC, like type of investment is public provident fund, EPF, bank FDs, NSC, LIC premium or tuition fees. Maximum of 1,50,000 can be claimed as deductions. Under 80CCC, it's related to pension funds along with the sections of 80C, CCC and CCD can claim to the extent of 1,50,000 as deduction. In case of 80CCD, it's related to pension fund initiated by central government. Addition of 50,000 can be claimed as deduction. So maximum amount is 2 lakhs with a combination of 80C, CCC and CCD. In case of 80D, medical insurance premium and health checkup. For individual taxpayers, premium is up to 25,000 in case of individual, spouse and children, and up to 25,000 for parents. If the parents are senior citizen, it can be claimed to the extent of 30,000. It's 30,000. 30,000. However, the amount should not exceed 1 lakh. Under 8, next one is section 80DD. It's for maintenance treatment of handicapped dependent or deposit with LIC or UTI for the benefit of mentally retarded or physically handicapped person. Under section 80DD, 75,000 or rupees 1,25,000 for severe disability can be claimed as deduction. Next one is 80DDB, expenses, which is expenses incurred on treatment of self or dependent member of the family who is suffering from a notified disease. In that case, in case if the person is not a senior citizen, rupees 40,000. The person is a senior citizen, 60,000, or actual expenditure, whichever is less, is considered as deduction. If the person is a super senior, it is 80,000. It's considered for deduction. In case of 80E, interest on repayment of education loan, no specified limit is defined. With this, we come to the conclusion of this deductions from 80C to 80E. In the next video, we'll see about the 80G to 80U deductions. These are all the textbook references which you can refer for further studies.